Welcome to FS Redefined. Let's watch our latest news.
A common reaction when we talk about LIBOR is that people say, why do I care? Yeah? And to answer that, I think LIBOR is so, as I said before, LIBOR is so ingrained in the financial instruments markets, which is reflected in roughly 200 trillion of assets in US dollars, right, that are LIBOR based. So when you look at this, while the majority of these contracts is going to mature before 2021, there's still going to be 5 trillion of LIBOR-based business borrowings left and around 3 trillion of LIBOR-based mortgage and securitized asset borrowings. So in a nutshell, there's enough assets out there at the 1st of January 2021 that require significant preparation and mitigation of any open points around that time frame. A transition to new rates will affect liquidity and therefore liquidity risk management or risk management in general and the underlying cost of capital, right? So if you look at it, the market or your institution will have to provide liquidity in the new products, and this goes hand in hand with cross-currency risk management tools. As a result, you will need to develop new rates or data points around these new rates. Like time series basically that aren't there for new products and rates. Underlying for this you will have new models used for valuation. There's a pricing question, portfolio considerations, and a risk and liquidity management that ties into this. Now, if your organization is very advanced or you recently upgraded your systems around all of these changes on derivatives, for example, then that might be easier to implement, but depending on your platform, your procedures and processes, there will be some heavy lifting required to implement these new products, especially because the new products and rates can differ quite substantially in terms of how they're composed and how the underlying risk management is being done. Another point I really find important to mention is the contracting side. So, for example, when you look at the mortgage-based contracts, you will find in a lot of these contracts references to LIBOR. And depending on your current language or language that has been introduced to prepare for cases like this, you will basically need to go through all of your existing contracts to understand and determine where you have references to LIBOR and the mitigating options you have to take out this reference, introduce new language, and basically at some point in time reach out to the customer to introduce the future options that the customer can choose from for all of the contracts that run longer than 2021. And I think this is an exercise not to be underestimated, because there might be some legal challenges coming out of this, because effectively you are cancelling an existing contract and introducing new terms and conditions, yeah, and prices potentially. And there will be some education of the customer required, because LIBOR has been around, as I mentioned in the beginning, for such a long time that most of the market participants and clients and customers are comfortable with LIBOR as a concept, and suddenly they are confronted with a number of new options to choose from that might be actually more technical and more complex, right? Now, leading over into the question, from my point of view, why this is not much time until 2021, while it still seems quite a while away. If you look at the amount of work you might have to do in terms of running through these contracts, educating your clients, and going through a real market and market participant education, plus adjusting, as I mentioned earlier, a number of your systems to cater for new products, new models, new valuations, and accounting and tax changes, then 2021 is not so long away in my view. Now, what's interesting is there's an EU benchmark regulation out there that has until 2020, January 2020, to be implemented. So the other interesting fact here is that you need to start to align the timelines of decommissioning of LIBOR and the EU benchmark regulation. Ideally, roll this into one program, look at it from different perspectives, the timelines, dependencies around this, and then tie it all up and make it work very quickly. Yeah, come up with the solutions quickly. Thank you for watching this. Please visit our website. You'll find relevant materials or contact us directly. Thank you.